So if you've been sad enough to watch any of the other videos I've put on here, this is the new save I've had to make. I did say in the video I did of the shopping mall that that'd probably be the last save. Anyway, skip ahead a bit. The last video I did, just after that one, excuse me, I always get a dry throat when I do this stuff. I'd loaded up the game, and for some reason the mods had all been reset. Everything had disappeared apart from stuff that didn't need mods, so base game items, etc. And so I've had to start the game again. Obviously I've got a different character now, and the video that I did before was Dartmouth professional building. I'd put a load of scaffolding up there, and just where there's an opening there I'd built an apartment. I've kind of done the same thing, but I've revised it, and I've used equipment that won't disappear if mods get disabled. I'm 90% sure that's going to happen, so if they did disable mods or they weren't supported or I had any more errors, all this would still remain here. Obviously I've used mods to get the workbench here, but if they get deleted this is still going to be here. Right, it's a bit better. I haven't been awake for so long, so my throat's quite dry. So yeah, the video before, I'll quickly go over it again. I've built this here because when you fast travel you land here. The other side of the wall there's enemies that spawn, so I've built this, made it look like a construction site. I've put some turrets here, and as you come down, there was a robot that spawned here. Yeah, Mr. Gutsy, I think I'll have some of this a bit later. I've put a ton of turrets here that don't need a power generator, so these won't get damaged. They obliterate anything that spawns here, so there's no chance of me spawning here after fast travel and getting attacked. I've built this here so only I can climb up and over, so enemies can't, because if enemies spawn outside the wall and I'm not able to fast travel, I'm basically stuck. So I've thought of everything essentially. So down the side of the building that's a massive set of scaffolding, same as before, and we'll get to the top again. Before I'd done this I'd built an apartment, but I've kind of gone on the Fallout theme with this. It isn't The Sims at the end of the day, so I've built something that's kind of keeping with the wasteland vibe. I think there was some raiders that spawned there at one point. They haven't spawned since, so I think they're all dead. Underneath that bridge there where the dot is, I'd put a wall. That's another area where raiders spawn, and I filled that with turrets, but they haven't come back since. That's an interesting area because every time I reload the game there's a random encounter. The most popular one you'll think of is the two blokes where they standing each other off thinking one's a synth. I was going to say simp then. So yeah, anyway, stop waffling. This is where we are, and I've just built a little ramp in here. I've gone on the basis that this is a construction site and it's been where the workers would have worked. I've built it all up, so we come down here, nice little seating area. I'm gonna have to move that chair back in. Barbecue, got gorgeous views all around. It's just high enough so there's no wind noise, that can get quite annoying. And I've looped all this wiring around, so I've put the switch on the outside so I can get back in. Annoyingly it turns the light off, but whatever. So we come in. If we come to the left, well this is what we've got. I've made it look as complex as possible. That's a conveyor belt system, but it looks like, if we come back out, it makes it look like it's part of an aircon system, which is pretty cool. Glitches through nicely too. So we come in again. This is kind of like the kitchen area. I've put a bed there, a little sleeping bag, another bed here. And then as we come to the right, I've made a little living space. And then, this is the scaffolding staircase. Positioned it just right so it comes to the top. Fits lovely. Up here, we've got a little area where we can grow food. Obviously you can't grow it because it's not a settlement, but it's there for visual purposes. Armour station, weapon station. This is the power generator. And just a little bit of a bathroom and space to do up my power armour. Then, originally, all this here wasn't there. It was just this little 1, 2, 3 area, but I put a small half scaffolding and then kind of built this around here. The scaffolding ramp acts as a bit of a roof. So I'll go back down again and just show you as you're inside, because that would have all been open and you could have seen the outside. And then when it's rainy, it's not really realistic, so I've done that there just for realism. And then you can kind of walk down here. You have to jump up, but I'm kind of happy with how it is. Come down here, just a little display lamp, little workstation area. That's the conveyor belt, aka aircon unit. I've never used power conduits before, but it fits pretty well. It comes from there at the back. There's a little power point. It comes from there, runs along there. These little power nodes give this area power. Then it runs all the way along the wall, comes around there. It's pretty decent stuff. I'm glad they added it in. But yeah, I've sound like I'm repeating myself. The video on here before, I'd built an apartment here, and I'd actually come in through this way and built like a fake elevator. All that down there wasn't used. I'd just filled it all in with floors, and it's on the channel if you want to watch it. But again, I had a bit of an area with the mods. I don't know what happened. Nothing had changed. I hadn't changed anything. I hadn't signed out. I had disconnected my PlayStation from the internet, and they just disappeared. So the reason I've added all this in with vanilla, if you want to call it that, vanilla items, is because if anything happens, I'm 90% sure this is all going to remain. So yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else to show you. Probably skip ahead to night time. I don't really see the point, but I'll just show you what the lighting looks like at night time. And it's quite annoying because I'd made a huge shopping mall and it took ages to build, and I love that place, so yeah, that's gone now. But it wasn't intended for the game, so this is what you have to deal with. Any sort of DLC or add-ons. The internet is not the saviour of everything. As with the Xbox S, digital content will soon be gone forever. So yeah, with the one I did before as well, you could see the lighting from miles away, which is pretty funny because if you go to like that building over there, you can still see all this. So it's pretty dark and low key, and I kept all of it blocked out. So yeah, pretty cosy. It's a shame you can't have people here and use it as a settlement. I do think that the game could have done with some sort of like high-rise settlement, but they never bothered with it, so yeah. Anyway, hope that was interesting. Thanks for watching as usual. Make sure you have a look at the other stuff I've built on here.